base built. It didn't take too long, maybe another hour. It's all built. And how do I know it's done? Because I still have stuff in my inventory. It's all done. Let's take a minute to just kind of look through this. Now this has been for me a work in progress for a while, but what we're doing was we're importing raw resources. We got coal, we got our copper ore, our iron ore, and we're feeding that into these belt systems. And it's kind of fun to see how you can have half a belt one side of one product and the other side another product. And that's because we have these splitters, and what this does is it takes one lane and converts it into two, so it puts half and half on each side. And so we're taking all this, and then we're converting it into half and half, and then we send that down. The inserters are going to pick up the coal and the iron ore. They're putting it into the stone furnaces, and then they're outputting the intermediate product, which is iron plates. And so you can do that with iron and copper. Steel is just a little bit different because steel takes iron plates as an input and then outputs the steel. So we have to add an extra row of burners, furnaces in here to take the plates and then convert that into steel. Now we don't use a ton of steel right away, but we do need some. And so I've got its own little product system here. And if we go back and look at the source for this, I have 3 lanes of electric miners. That's empty. See, this is a benefit to having that mod to say, hey, what's producing and what's not. That's not. So let's recoup those belts. So yeah, I have, we're just electric mining. These are just running. I don't have to feed them coal. We just got to make sure we have plenty of energy. We're getting about halfway there. I don't like that. Just don't like it. So yeah, so that's going out. And then we have over here, we have the same thing with the copper. Copper's going out. And I got these set up here just for, you can always use some stone. One of the reasons, I hope that's not Skippy. Is it Skippy? Might not be able to record. It's in my mall. I need to, oops. So this is going to produce stone furnaces, but it's also going to feed into the boilers, which need a stone furnace. So not making any of those, but let's grab these steam boilers because I want to double the size. I don't know if that's going to be possible. I need to add another one, right? Because we're using lots of power and I want to double it. So we're going to Control C to copy. I'm going to select all of this right there. And then I want to get rid of these power poles. I don't like where those are. So if I hit Control V, and then if I rotate, what? Control C. There we go. And now if I rotate, hit R, I should be able to just clunk this down right there. It's going to ignore the belts because I can't put the belts on top of the other ones, but everything else is there. Now I just need to get my steam boilers ready to go. And that should double our electricity input or creation. And so let's go over back to the mall. There's a lot of running around in this game, by the way. The map is pretty much, I don't want to say infinite, but it's grand. I've not ever found the edge. And I've seen people take like 20-minute train rides at full speed in one direction on this map. So it is rather grandiose. Here we go. Get some of those going. Why is it not producing steam? I've got Oh, I don't have any water. It needs its own water input. And let's just go make some more of those. Gotta have water to make steam. There we go. Oh, it's missing one right there. You know what? Let's turn off our robots. Let's make one. That happened real quick, and we'll manually put it down, and there we go. So pay attention to these buttons down here. And you can adjust these for whatever you need. I don't really use, if you hit this chevron, which is right here on the right, I don't know if you can see that. It pops up a list of, based on default game and mods, what you can have down here. I don't use undo, copy, and paste as buttons because I'm a programmer. I know about Control Z, X, C, V, and so I can easily copy and paste and undo all those things. But I do want to have some of these other ones here, and I still have a free slot, but that's okay. So we've almost doubled our... Oh, it's because I'm missing water. So now if we come look at this, now we're making 36 megawatts, and I feel much more comfortable about that. We're not soaking up all of our coal. I've got this one here, and it's backed up, which I love to see. Everything is great. So what I did to make the malt, to make the starter base, is I created this little sub mall. There's lots of manual feeding in here, so I had to like manually fill these boxes, but it's all it is copper and iron. So it's not too difficult to get all that stuff set up. Let's just empty everything out. I said empty everything out. My inventory's full. So let's take this coal and we can stick it down in here. Now I shouldn't need coal for a while, because everything's running on electric, and these are just backups in case I ever need to go grab some coal. For whatever reason, we've got it there. So here's a good opportunity to show the trash can mod. We're going to set this trash can down. I'm going to click into it, and then I'm going to control click, and it should have moved everything over, but it just deletes it because I don't need it. All right, I don't need it. And then you just pick it back up when you're done with a right click. Okay, so we have stuff going. So this is our mall. And as you can see, part of the mall, or the starter base, is that we're making a lot more red science. Lots more. In fact, it's backed all the way up. I have it set so that this belt feeds, one half is going to be red science, and it feeds into our labs. And it's kind of weird. I've got it set up so that it comes down the belt, and then it gets picked up and put in this chest. And then another inserter picks it up and puts it in this chest. And then this inserter puts it out on the belt. The reason I do this is I want to have a backlog. I want to have a reservoir of just a ton of resources. I want to have a ton. I want to have a ton because now what I can do is, let's say I want to do this one. It's going to cost me 50. This is the steel axe. And what it does is it increases your mining speed. So I'm going to start that, and then I'm going to watch this thing, and we're just going to go nuts because it's going to take that 50, and there's 10 of these labs. And so it's gonna research a heck of a lot faster than my 2 were at that time. And I've got the same thing pre-set up for green science, because between red and green science, you can get really far in this game. In fact, I want to load up the next research to be green science. And then as you can see down here, a lot of these products, it's just red and green, red and green, red and green. It takes a while for us to hit a third research. And so what I do is I tend to just kind of once you have green set up and you have all this going, like this is 100% automated. What you can do is just let this run, do a research queue, let everything run and go watch a show for 30 minutes, come back, do your queue, right? Just kind of get all this stuff set up and going, and it works just fine. So again, we have a lot of this other stuff that's blank. We don't have anything defaulted in here just yet. It is set up on the blueprint, but because we haven't researched it, it's not gonna, this is all train stuff. So we don't have anything unlocked for trains just yet. So I'm going to let this run for a while. And then we'll hit green. And then we need to start, another thing you can do, if you hit M to go to the map, we can see that just this little tiny bit of the map. But if I zoom out, that's just a fraction of this map. It is just massive. Absolutely massive. So what I want to do is start looking at a way I can start building out a real mall. And I think on this playthrough, I want to do a bus system, and that is just doing large lanes of product going down a line like an interstate, and then you can just pull off of that bus system whenever you need products for sub factories. And so I think I want to do that down here. But it's gonna be big. It's gonna be a process, and so I kind of wanted to get that going, but I can't see where the map is. So a lot of times, what I'll do is just set this up, let it queue, go research, and then I'll go on a walkabout and just really, really open up this map. And it's gonna take a couple hours. You're not gonna want to watch that, but it'll be fun for me. All right, so we got the steel pick unlocked. Now we're going to go green. That's going to take 75 at 5 seconds a piece. So, it's cruising right along. 23 to 45, 7, 31, 2, 3, 4. It's going real quick. So as soon as we unlock that, and I want to switch this, these blues are fast inserters, but I don't have them unlocked yet, I don't think. Yeah. And so we're going to swap for the time being. We're going to swap this all out with just yellows. All right. So now we have green unlocked. So I'm going to click on here and we're going to say green. And then I'm going to shift right click, shift left click, and just paste that recipe all the way down. It's going to do the same thing here as my reds. It's going to create all the different things. What are we waiting on? Oh, science. Yeah, there's a bottleneck, but that's fine. It'll get here when it gets here. And like, I'm not in like a crazy hurry to do anything in this game. I got to go exploring. But my science is getting picked up by other things along the way. And so it's going to take a minute for everything else to get saturated, all these boxes, and then allow, well, here's some's getting through. And that's fine. It does the same thing, picks it up, puts it in boxes, and then spits it out so that when this is all backlogged, I'll have extras like this. Like this has several hundred in it. You can hover over on the right hand side. It'll tell you how many are in there. 820, 821, 822. So it's filling up. It's filling up, and we can already see green getting into the labs. Now, just because I have green in there doesn't mean I have to use those. There's still plenty of reds like this one here that's going to give me fast inserters and then filter inserters. And so I can start that. And that's just red. We can unlock heavy armor, which is mainly used if you're trying to fight against the biters, the bugs on the planet, which we don't have on. But I might as well research it. It ain't going to kill me. Here's bullets. And then you can see down here, if I unlock this weapon, it's going to unlock all of this next tier of products, and then eventually down here. So if I want to get the portable fusion reactor, it tells me hey, you need to unlock this, switch unlock that, and unlock that. So that good example of that is trains, right? So if I want to get trains on the railways done, well, I need to unlock logistics and engines. That's my order. And once I unlock that, then I can unlock fluid wagons, I can unlock signals and all kinds of stuff. So in order to launch a rocket, if we find that in here, I think the silo, which is the ultimate thing you need to make in this game in order to launch a rocket, it tells you all of the parts that you need to make that. As you can see, it feels intimidating, but it's really not after you've played this a couple thousand hours. It's really not, but we want trains. You have to unlock trains and cement and bricks and batteries and all kinds of stuff, rocket fuel and engines and robotics and all kinds of things we need to unlock in order to get this rocket silo built. But we will get there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let this thing run. I'm going to queue up a few more things. Let's get automation 2. Let's get landfill. Let's open up a tool belt expansion. And then since we have steel, we can unlock power poles that are bigger. So let's unlock those. And then I'm going to go do something. I'm going to go watch a show. Be back, but you won't notice. All right, I got a bottleneck that I want to solve. It has to do with green circuits. Okay, so if we look at electronic circuits as green, because there's going to be red and blue later. I need copper coils, and it's nice because it tells you the total raw at the bottom. I need plates and copper, and I need to feed it onto this side of the belt. And we are getting some, but not as much as I want. So what I'm going to have to do is rig this up in such a way. Let's put that there. So this is the underground. What it's doing is it's taking it, the plates underground so that I can use this. And I want to add a belt going into it so that it's going to feed onto that line. And let's put this here because this is going to be our green circuit just for this line of green science. So I want to output that. I'm going to have to input some plates, but I also have to input some copper. And here's where it's going to get fun. I need... Let's cut this here and give us some place to work. What if I do this? Right? And then we put it in there. Nope. That's not how that works. I need a copper here. This is going to be weird. We're going to put a copper there, a coil, right? And we need to have this come in. So we're going to input copper plates and we're going to output a little bit further on the next belt over. And when you click and drag, it automatically puts that down there. I can actually close that and leave it. And now let's add this here. And now I'm going to have to input, right? I need plates and coils. We're going to add some power to that. And that one there. And we'll put one there and there. Now I just need to get copper into there. So how am I going to do that? Let's input that way. And then if I do a split, there's two ways to do this. I can split right into here and it's going to feed that half onto, at least it should. Here comes the plates, but it's only feeding onto half. And maybe that's sufficient for what we want. Now I can just be like, all right, cool. And that looks like that is absolutely sufficient. So we're going to take all the things, we're going to output, and it's going to put it on that half. And now we can keep making the things. So it just because you think you're done in Factorio don't really mean you're done. In fact, that might be, well, we'll just leave it. I knew that was going to happen, so let's add 2 inserters because one isn't quite fast enough for the level of production that I want. Now, once I unlock the blue ones, which I have, so if I right click a couple times and hand make those, I'm going to turn off my robots. And then I'm going to turn off that one. We're going to see here, as soon as I make them, here we go. So now I've got blue. And it's going to go, look at that. It's going fast. So let's turn all of these into blues so that pretty much as soon as it's done, it gets the supplies it wants. Now that's running pretty good. Let's see what happens if we add 2 blues. There we go. Let's double that.
Did you mean to put something in the oven?
Not yet. Yeah, I'm making pizza. So anyway, that's a good quick way to show that if you're lacking someplace, hey, if you got some space, you're gonna have to think outside the box. How am I gonna get this over there to A to B to C to get the thing done? Now we're making green, far more than we were, and there you go. Oh, lunch. Where are we? So we got electric done. I want to do here. Let's do engine so we can make a car. And you can preload this. So, right. So if I go to engines, we know car is on the list. So I'm going to pick car to do after engines, but it's not going to let me because it's red. T to start things off. Still not going to let me. It's all right. That's totally fine. Let's do circuitry for circuit network. And let's just hang out there. Just kind of let things go. One thing I just learned about. Everything lies. I don't think I have the logistic network unlocked just yet. I did not go running around. I'm gonna go south while we can keep doing research while we're out running around. Now you'll notice as I'm running, I'm zoomed all the way out by default. And on the upper hand, we have our map up here on the upper right. And we got the map, which is the fog. 3, 4, 5. And then if I go left, it's going to consume that whole block and kind of wipe it as we go. So I'm just going to run around a little bit. Let's just open this map a little bit more. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I'm going to go down 3 for a loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have lots of trees. There's lots of water. I'm not really as concerned with water being a part of a problem, because as you start to build your factory, one, you need lots of space to do all the things, and you can't build on water, but we can fill in water with dirt or landfill. And so if we look at E, this landfilled recipe, but it needs lots of stone. It needs 20 stone per 1 block, and that is going to take a lot of time to build, but we should be okay. And then we're going to go up. There we go. I like having nice little blocks. This is another one of those games that even when you're in the midst of building something and expanding, I like to have either music in the background or X-Files or something. Okay, so here's some water. A little bit. But what I'm doing is I'm just opening the map. It's driving me nuts. Let's take a look at the map. I want to open it up because I think I can go right. From there, I tend to build, well, I don't know, maybe it's just me and my brain. I tend to build my factories left to right or right to left, you know, in that horizontal plane. Just because that's how my brain works. And so it's just easier for me to build that way. But, you know, once you build a blueprint, it doesn't really matter. You just have to readjust how your mind's eye works with it. All right, let's open this up just a little bit more. Because I want to start laying down the foundation for a bus system. But I kind of want it to be out of the way, if that makes sense. So we have a patch of coal and we have a patch of iron, but then we also have this patch here of oil that we'll use later. So I think I can come down in between these and kind of build my grid, my trains, well, my bus, right? Because we're going to do bus. Yeah, where's copper? I need to find a big patch of copper. Let's go left. Okay, so we have, yeah, brains all over the place. Let's just start unlocking everything. I'll get some solar panels. Let's just start unlocking everything. We'll see how that goes. So I kind of want to leave these patches of it. Look at that. That's a huge giant chunk that we can really get a lot of iron out of. Which is what I want. But I also am going to need a lot of something that size in copper too. So let's go left just to see how things are going. Now, eventually we'll get trains involved, and they'll really help us to explore and go out into the world and get giant loads of resources. 3, 4, 5. Let's just go down a little bit.